All right, friends, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. All right, I am back home from the dealership, so I'm home, right? I'm back home from the dealership, so it kind of gave me a little chance. I'll probably go back on the road again, but I feel like I couldn't leave this conversation where it was before I went on the road. So I said, you know what? Let me devote an hour so we can talk a little bit more about this because I feel like they have given us a very interesting viewpoint with all of this skit, right? They've given us something very, very interesting to look at. And I think that I don't want us to miss the opportunity of what they're giving us in the Michelle, Amber, Anthony, Shayla, no, Ben, and Daniel storyline. It's just, they're giving us a lot in the storyline. I feel like I couldn't allow us to miss that because I also wanted to read y'all's comments, right? I wanted to read the comments that you guys had because I feel like y'all too have good point of views, right? I feel like we're gonna have good point of views. It's a very good conversation. Very, very good conversation because I feel like a lot of things come up. I will say this. If you are watching the Anthony, Amber, and Shayla saga and you're trying to get a storyline, forget it. Like if nowadays when you watch Anthony, Amber, Shayla, any of those things, forget it. Don't watch it for that because if you're watching it for a storyline, you're going to get disappointed. You're going to start to become very, you're going to get crazy. You're going to pull out your hair. And I'm telling you right now, just don't pull your hair out. It is tough being a creator. I'm Nanya. It is tough. It's a lot of work. I will tell you that much. It is tough to do that. If you're watching it for all of that, then you're going to miss the point. They have now established these characters to a point, right? Where the characters are able to bring you storylines that have topics in them. They want you to extract the knowledge from the topic or extract the conversation from the topic and think to yourself, if I were in that situation, what would I have done? But then also, by the way, happy MLK Day, correct? But also to find yourself out to ask yourself, well, would that be the right thing to do? That's what they're asking. All right, so I wanted to take us back, right? You think he can play with the intelligence? I don't think he is. Trust me, him no intelligent enough. Believe me, you've been having a lot of good intelligent conversations on your S-Lane. You all have been very, very intelligent in your viewpoints. Just understand that. And that's, I think eventually they will suffer. If only eventually people have to suffer somehow. I really want them to take away Anthony's money. There you go. Think about, Nanya, put it this way. Think about Donald Trump. I'm just saying, think about Donald Trump. Enough said. You know the conversations that are had around Trump. You know the conversations people have, right? And you know that people sometimes get crazy when it comes to Trump. And you see what's going on. He gets away with a lot of various things. And it takes a lot of time. For us in Jamaica, we had a guy named Edward Siaga at one point in time. I have no problem with these people, but I'm just saying, right? There are people who would you, excuse me, who you would consider to be just like the Anthony and like whoever else it is. So maybe they're giving us conversation to say, how do we move in the world? I wanted to go back to the conversation that Anthony had with Ben. I want to go back with this and start from here.
Shut up. Some tension between you two.
Man, I don't even know if I should be telling you this. All right. You remember I told you about the lake house, right? And
Yeah?
Amber caught me with Shayla, and of course. What I didn't tell you is that a particular person set me up. And that person is Michelle.
All right. So we saw this, right? We saw this, and Anthony said all of this. But then we also saw another portion with Anthony as well. And I want you to see the part with Anthony as well. Because people say Anthony is the one that caused Michelle to lose her job. So let me ask that question. Let's ask the question. Is Anthony, this is the question. Did Anthony want Michelle to lose her job? It's weird, but I just want to know that. Did Anthony want her to lose her job?
Their personal lives to these rentals, and I have someone here exposing them like that, working for me. Look, I need you from now on, just be straight with me right away about anything like that, okay? Because that...
I mean, yeah, I get it. I mean, it's all good now. I mean, me and Amber are in good space right now, and
I mean, that's good for you, Aunt, but unfortunately, it's not all good for me.
There you go. Who said that? Huh. Don't do me. Yes, it's like the Epstein thing them. These people have these things going on. They do. They do. Anthony didn't have to mention it to Ben. It sound like that, but I would say, you know what? No, because if he didn't mention it to Ben, then he would be chastised for not mentioning that to Ben. Especially because of Ben's line of business. On one hand, I know what you're saying, Gary, but on the other hand, Anthony's looking at it also from whatever else it is. He might look on it from that. It's Amber's fault for telling everything. No, I have a problem with Amber telling everything. Me, I do. Because I feel like what she should have done was made up a story and tell Anthony as to how she found him. That's what I think. I think Amber should have made up a story. Amber should have made up a story about how she found out. Amber should have made up a story about how she found out. That's what I'm saying to you. Amber should have made up a story about how she found out. That's what I said to you. Let me ask you that question. Should she have made up a story? It's tough for me to say it, you know. I know what I'm saying. I know plus but only that's not the Christian thing to do. I get it. But I'm saying no, I'm just showing you how it comes across. Because no matter how you swing it, you're going to be wrong. There's no one right side to be on with this, if that makes sense. There is no one right side. In other words, there's no one side we can say, if you go on this side, she's right. Or if you go on this side, she's right. There's none of that going on. Because while the lady is incorrect, but yes, Amber need to know at the same point in time. But okay, hold on. I love the challenge. I love the challenge, Charmian. The problem with this though, Charmian, is that it is indicative though. Say Anthony reveal this to Ben, because if it was you with your female friend, you would have revealed it to your female friend. Nanya say Nanya say the same thing, which you say you should have make up a different story. O'Neill, quite a few of us said that Amber should have made up a different story. Yes, I remember that. We should have make up a story. What I realize now is that you should have make up a story, because this is now how you raise the flag as to who it is. What you're realizing now is that you can't use that lady now. That lady will now become, she'll be watched. What I try to tell you now is that the lady is always going to be watched. That's what I'm trying to say to you. What it has done now is it put the lady now on blast that she will, in certain circumstances, because of her morals, she will release information. Anthony's going to tell Ben, Charmian, if it was a woman, would I expect the woman to say something to her friend? Honestly, really and truly, I can't even complain about it. Amber was tired of all the lies. That is true, which is great. But the only thing is that there are other people on the side of whatever it is the lady tell her. That's the thing. There's other people on the side of it, so you can't release those people as well to inner the wild. May I explain to you what I mean? I want you all to understand this. When you go to the police, this is why sometimes policing don't work. Because if I come to the police and I tell them that, you know what, there was some gang violence outside, and the police releases that information into the community. This happened a lot in Jamaica. And the police releases these information to the community, and they find out who told, they're going for that person. Which makes what? It makes the job of you wanting the police to do their job not happen. That's why I say what I'm saying. Me get the lies and whatever. I get what y'all are saying, but more you also understand the backing of that. And this is what them are trying to give us in the story. Them are trying to get the backing of all of this. There are ways to get around NDAs, prenuptial agreement, and so on. You might have ways to get around it, but one of the things you can't do is you can't divulge information like this, or else you will have to take the firing. And just like the lady saying she have kids, well, she have to understand that the realm she's coming into, regardless of if you have kids, that's what you have. I'm reading y'all's comments. Come on, guys. I'm reading y'all's comments. I think you're using the word friend too loose. It is a business partner. These people cross lines too much, and this is why everything seems personal. That's correct. That is correct. Sorry, I can't stand Anthony. Don't stand him either. Listen, I think the dude is evil as well. Don't take it that I'm not thinking and he's not evil as well. Amber needs to learn to hold water. That's the point. The point of this is Amber have to learn how not to release information. J-Dub is on vacation. She have to learn to not release information. No, Amber has forgiven Anthony and Shayla, and Michelle is in fire. That's the point. This is the point that I'm raising. You have to find a way not to release certain information like this. Look, we all know the people in the skits can't hold water, but I think the point they're giving you is how you can get in trouble very easily. That's what I'm going to try to tell you. O'Neal, you can chew iron until the cow comes. Anton just shut him out. I don't think so. Him have to say it. Because him don't know. Look, he doesn't know. He does not know if the lady going to reveal it again. And Ben, I'm business partner. And him can't afford the same thing happening to someone else. That's the truth. So him have to reveal it. If the roles were reversed and it was Amber and somebody else, she had to reveal it. In other cases, she have to reveal that, hey, that person did this particular time. She has to. At that point, because now it is indicative of business. It might get in the way of business. That's correct. If the Lakeout lady sees anything else, she should inform Daniel and not Ben. Now, that may cause also a problem. We're upholding some wrongs. We're not upholding wrongs. We're not upholding wrongs, Shamin. I want you to understand what we're doing. We're arguing what has occurred. What has occurred is some information has been released and we're just arguing it. Don't look at it as we're opposing anything at all. The point of the matter is, in certain spaces, this is what I was discussing today as well. In some spaces, either you're going to know how to work in it or you're not going to work in it. You can choose. All right. Let me run into this. This is the deal. This is the deal. Can you decide? Can you decide where to work? Let me ask you that question. Can you decide where you want to work? I'm going to ask you a question. Because I think that, again, take out the emotions out of it. More you know, start deal with I want you to go ahead and go for what they're trying to tell you. What they're trying to tell you is that you have some businesses that requires privacy. We're just arguing the scope of the Lake House lady. We know what she did. Even O'Neal says she should have done it. But O'Neal is now saying, you know what? I may be wrong. In fact, O'Neal has said unequivocally, O'Neal, you're wrong. She shouldn't divulge that information. Because that is a different case. O'Neal is saying that no. O'Neal, you're wrong in that instant at that point. That's Anthony just wants Ben to get rid of Michelle because he wants to take Shayla back to the Lakers. I'm not sure if that's what it is. But hey, listen to this.
I can't have someone like that working for me.
I just didn't want the girl to lose her job.
I understand that, but
Are you sure you just can't, you know?
how could I ever trust her? How could I ever
Look
trust her
at
to not do that again? I mean, if she's gonna do.
look at Anthony's face, friends. Him never want the woman to get fired, but him know him have to say something. He knows him want to say something. I know what y'all are saying. I know when I say only that get double standard. I'm not. On TV, you're saying Amber should not tell Anthony about Michelle, but Anthony should tell Ben about Michelle. All right. So let me say what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when Amber gets an information like that, she should not have divulged where she get the information from. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That is correct. I'm also saying because Anthony and Ben does business, real estate business, and they have high-end clients, he has a duty to tell Anthony, hey, this is the deal. How the last time the lady find out whatever it is found out is because Michelle made them find out. That's what I'm saying. No, you may not like it because it's a very weird position to be in, but that's the truth. Jackie, that's better because even if she tell Ben, she's still telling people's business. So only now we're praising cheating. We're not praising cheating. That's what I'm telling you. Come off of that. If you're going into cheating, that's not the argument we have. The cheating argument is not the argument we're having. We're arguing privacy. We're arguing the actual place in itself. Our privacy. We're arguing with them. Argue. They're saying, hey, there are some lined up business where you can't release information. If you're speaking from your feelings, you're not going to win the argument. You're not going to understand what I say. That's Anthony's lying tone. Well, that's a different argument, Eslin. If you're saying in my, that I'm lying tone, me understand that. What you're saying is that if I know one of my employees is doing something wrong, I should remind question from a business perspective. That's not what I'm saying. It depends on the line of business. That's why I just told you. The context matters. That's what I'm saying, Charmaine. You cannot argue from that business that you're talking about. If you're working in a school system, none of that should be happening in a school system. So in a school system, you would be correct. In a regular, I don't know, maybe social work setting, you'd be correct. Let me explain something to you, Charmaine. There are certain things. Let me give you this. Let me break this down to you. There are certain things as a clinician, as even a social worker, that I'm not able to reveal. Listen to me again. If I hear of something, let's say, I'm going to give you an example. If a client has the police looking for him and I know where the client is, I'm going to tell you this so you understand this. Ethics inside a social work say that I cannot divulge where the client is to the police. May I show you that in different settings, I keep muting myself. Am I muting? Am I muted? Am I muted, friends? Can you hear me? May I show you that in different settings. Okay, I can hear myself. What I'm trying to explain is that in different settings, there are different ways how to handle things. I'm going to say it again. If I were in a social work setting and you are my client, Charmaine, and the police is looking for you and I know where you are, I could not divulge that information to the police. I couldn't. And if I did, you could sue me for divulging that information to the police. May I try to explain to you that in certain settings, you cannot release information. That's what they're arguing. They might argue privacy. They're arguing when you can do things and when you can't do things. That's what they're arguing. And more you just understand that fundamental fact. That's what they're talking about. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying to y'all now, folks. Me know it kind of seem weird, but that's what I'm saying to you. So understand it. He does not care about the girl. He's trying to make himself look better. That may be true. When it comes to Anthony kind of different. O'Neal, stop it. Anthony is a snake and manipulated Ben into getting Michelle fired is a snake. She wasn't fired. Eventually, Angela can say she wasn't fired. Let me see what y'all are saying. Only remember that Anthony threatened her when he brought Amber there. after he was there with Shayla. He did. Because he's expecting to have a certain level of privacy. These men have privacy. If Anthony did not want to get to get her fired, he should have kept his mouth shut. I know what you're saying, and it me know what you're saying, Angela Atkins. Me know what you're saying. Believe me know what you're saying. And I accept your point. Me now reject it, but I'm also saying from another space, he has to. He has to say something. Because the truth is, he knows the business Ben is in. And him can't afford for the Lake House lady to do that again. In other words, she need a warning then. That's the point me I raise. Him do it so she get a warning. How did we come to the conclusion that Abigail is Ben? Because we're just making association that it is Abigail. Based on what she said. And if Michelle hadn't called Amber, Anthony and Shayla would still be creeping and probably be on a baby too by now. But here's the thing I'm gonna have with this, with the whole idea. Give me one moment, Angela. Give me one moment, Angela Powell. Give me one moment. I'm trying to tackle every piece by piece here, so. I think Anthony just wanted Michelle to do what Michelle did to him. He really didn't want Ben to fire her. I think so too. I don't think him wanted Ben to fire her. That's fair. Here's my thing with it. The thing is, the argument we now have is this. Let's get honest about the argument. Did it matter that she said something to Amber? That's the question we are asked now. And that's what I think that they gave me to really look at as a person. It's like I said this morning. Sometimes you think you can save people, but you really can't save them. That me get from the story. I have to humble myself and take a step back and say, O'Neill, what did you get from this? And what I get is sometimes you think you can save people, but you can't save them. That's what I get from the storyline. Let me keep reading y'all's comments. Amber should have used the woman code. I've used the woman code. That's what I say. My job requires confidentiality, but there are ways. There you go. That is HIPAA and all the other privacy laws. And even those, if reporting is warranted, you are protected. You're not. In social work, if I were to reveal information like that, I would not have been protected. We're not talking about HIPAA laws. Don't put HIPAA laws in there. No, I can't divulge information in that regard either. I can't. It's not legal for me to do so. That's what I tell you, say, you have certain spots where you can't do anything at all. And that's why, Charmian, you need to know the line. Again, the next question is, you need to know the line of business you want to work in. If you can't handle being very private, then you can't work in this setting. And that now is a fact. Nothing wrong with the fact, you know. You can't trust and say everything to everyone. That's the deal. From Michigan, everything you're saying is correct. The next time Michelle won't say anything, she'll just keep it affairs to herself and let the wife and husband find out another way. Yes, that is what I'm saying. Even O'Neill wrong, you know. Listen to me. Even O'Neill is wrong. Even O'Neill is wrong. May I tell us, all me was cheering that the lady should have tell Amber, but guess what? It did nothing. Nothing. That's the funny thing is, it did nothing. It did nothing. It did nothing. It did nothing. It didn't help her. And nothing is wrong with that as well, Shami. That's good. All people get second chances. That's good. Me like that perspective too. What I get from the story is that a lot of people get second chance. That is true as well. Me like that. Nothing wrong with that as well too. There are so many stories running. There are so many, what you call it? There are so many messages that are running. So yes, it's not just one message. I am regulated in my line of work. I cannot overbreach confidentiality. It goes beyond death. You hear that? Me I'm telling you, so you have certain line of work where you can't reveal certain information. Look, I'm not trying to make it seem as though I'm saying everything is right, you know, friends. Like O'Neill is what you call it. O'Neill is accepting cheating and those things, but you must get the line of work you're in. That's what they're trying to tell us, and nothing wrong with that. That's why you need to know what you can morally handle. If you can't morally handle certain jobs, don't go into it. There you go. There you go. And that's what they must say. The woman is a snitch. and acted unprofessionally, and that is that's what is in question. Was she unprofessional? And the answer to it is yes, because that's what it is. She was. She did what was in her moral ground, and so it worked. But she was. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Michelle did this to her failure. If she hadn't told, he would have actually had a real baby with Shayla instead of the one that was planted on him. That may be true as well. But I think our question is, that's what it is. You just have to expect it. You're going certain line of work and you're going to see certain things. And you will just have to know that that's what's going on. You cannot divulge that information because you could get in trouble for doing so. Anthony wanted Michelle to lose her job or else he would have kept it to himself. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I like what I said, oh, Faith, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Because I feel like they're in a certain line of work that is questioning. It's questionable. I don't think you're wrong, but it's questionable.
To you, my friend, look, it's gonna be all right. You know, she does good work, but you can't trust her. Can't trust her. I appreciate you telling me. I need to know you'll always be straight with me.
Yeah, man. I just thought I'd let you know.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you and Amber are good, though.
Yeah, yeah, man. And, house is nice, man.
My question is, my mic pops very often. Hold on, give me one moment. Can I check my mic after this live? Can you guys hear what I'm saying? It pops, meaning it's too loud. I don't know what's going on with YouTube. One Journey. YouTube kind of behaving very weird. Here's the question. Here's the big question I think I'm trying to ask people. Was it worth it for Michelle to tell Amber? That's what I'm trying to ask people. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Was it worth it? That's the question. Come on and create the substance. Come, I know y'all give me some point of views. Was there an NDA extended to the clients? If not, she didn't do anything wrong. This is what I tell y'all, so in other words, you're just going to walk up on these various places and start to reveal information. You know what kind of places you're going into. That woman knows what's going on. She knows she's seen these things all the time. That's why Daniel didn't let her go. There's obviously an NDA in place. There's obviously is. Because there's obviously a level of trust that has to happen in that line of business. You can't divulge that information. Whether or not y'all like this, you just have to accept that. He is unprofessional as a husband. You are correct, Tina. Of course, we're always going to rip on Anthony. We're always going to rip on it. When you bypass codes, there are consequences. Husband, wife, and employee. That's what the people are going to try to explain. She's not been vigilant telling all cheating. There you go. Only how does a husband cheating on wives become top secret? Because that's just how people handle business. Shaman. Again, I don't try to go into the morality of it because personally, I don't think it is morally right. But I must understand that not because I don't think it is morally right means I have a duty to be reporting something that's within a particular space that people own. In other words, then I would be saying it's right for me to be going into people's house and telling what I see. I'm not supposed to do that. That is morally incorrect. No, it's not that I mean I like it. Not hold on, Janet. You get the story wrong. You get it wrong. I think you're thinking that I'm liking this. No, I'm not liking this. We're just arguing. We're just kind of putting a little bit of perspective behind it. The moral of the story is mind your business. Rico DIY, there you go. Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes you just have to. That's what I said. As long as Michelle has been working with Ben, you would have thought she would know these things. She knows these things happen. You hear Ben, I tell you. And I think Daniel knows that these things happen as well. Daniel knows of these things. Even Daniel, the person who was chastising Ernestine, knows about these things, but she understands that it's business. So they are accustomed to have to bring their mistress to the lake properties. Sounds like Ben is used to bringing clients that cheat on their spouses. Yes, that is the point we're making. Yes, this is the business model. It is a secluded business model. It is a secluded business model. What I try to get you all to do is to understand the model. If you understand the model, then you'll be fine. You'll be fine. If you understand the model, then you won't even have any attachment to it. I have no attachment to it, and that's why I can argue it, That's correct. That's correct. Because only I understand what Michelle could have done. Something told Amber instead of doing it. Exactly. Yes. Yes. All right. So talk to me. Our question is, I think there are multiple things that are covered here, but we're not discussing those. Something did come out. What came out? The next question I had to ask y'all was this, right? And yes, I always stand with truth and justice, and I just critical thinking. We're just looking at the story in itself. So yes, I always stand with justice, friends. Don't think that I'm saying that cheating is right and all of that. I'm not saying that. But may I say there's another world as well, where you must lead that world to do its own thing. See, people are saying the moral of the story, mind your own business. And I don't think you're incorrect. Mind the business that pays you. Moral of the story, mind the business that pays you. My question is, was it worth it? Was it worth it? Did Amber do what Michelle thought she would have done? I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show you guys something. Hold on. Let's look at this. Michelle has been in this before, okay? Michelle says she has been cheated on before. Michelle may have left that man that cheated on her. Michelle thought Amber would have done the same thing. Guess what? Amber didn't do the same thing. So that's why the question is, did Michelle do the right thing? Because at the end of the day, it never was necessary. But it's necessary. If you see what I'm coming from. I'm just trying to get your minds to kind of bubble a little bit. Think about it. Think about it. One moment, Stephanie. I'm trying to get to all of the comments, as much comments as we can from each person, so that way we can include everybody in the chat today. I know, friends. Hold on, give me one moment. Stephanie, give me 1 minute, 1 minute. Let me try to find yours. I know what y'all are saying. I'm in healthcare as well for over 30 years, and HIPAA, I'd be fired, possibly sued, if I tell anything about health to someone else. That's what I'm saying to people. May I say you have just lines of work where you just have, there are certain codes you have to stand by, whether you like it or not. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. The point of the matter is nothing happened. Anthony threatened the lake house lady, right? Did not want her to get fired because it made him feel like he have authority over women. Couldn't have manipulated Michelle. I see what you're saying. But now, the lake house lady is now in the hot seat. O'Neill, you think that if this didn't come out, we would still, Anthony would have still been playing in Amber's face? Possibly. But my question to you is, now that this has come out, aren't they still kind of playing in Amber's face? They might not be doing it on an intimate level, but really and truly with Kai, them are playing in Amber's face anyways. Amber is taking it. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Because the truth is, was it worth it? She almost lost her job. That's what we are saying. We are saying she almost lost her job and she didn't get the outcome. Exactly. She almost lost her job and Amber went back. And more want y'all to deep think that. No, I'm not. Hey, was it worth it? So, Russia, that's what I'm telling them too. I don't think that she wanted her to lose her job. Honestly, I don't think so. We're not saying HIPAA applies to property managers, but we're saying something called NDA, and there are certain privacies. So if you're using HIPAA laws, we were using HIPAA as an example of when you can't release certain information. Friends, if you worked at certain places, you're not able and you're not supposed to divulge certain information. You know that because they have high-end clients. And those clients have ways as to how them operate business. It's not in your duty to be able to do that. If you can't manage it, don't. Now I'm just asking y'all. I'm just asking a question. Was it worth it? That's the question may I ask. Was it worth it, friends? That's a question. The question is, was it worth it? Was it worth it in your mind? In your mind, was it worth it? O'Neill, what about Anthony threatening the woman to let her lose her commission? You are correct. He did threaten her. That was a big piece too. It's a big piece as well. No, she didn't do the right thing. Michelle should have left it alone. The truth has a way of coming out. Carolyn is saying the truth would have eventually come out anyways. What people are saying, no, the truth would have eventually come out. Your 20 questions, Nanya, good God. Take your time with me, Nanya. Remember, say, me I watch like, hold on, Nanya, hold on. Yeah, remember, say, me I look on thousands of chat. That's the question I've been asking all morning, O'Neill. It was exposed that Anthony was cheating with Shayla. That is one of the points I'm trying to make to you. Correct. So I like this, Nanya, that yes, Anthony was cheating with Shayla, but may I ask you the question now? Okay, so it get exposed, okay? And my question to you, my pushback on this, Nanya, is this. Was it worth it that Michelle released this information so Amber finds out? Because at the end of the day, Amber did not leave. I'm just pushing back now. Hindsight, may I say, but I tell you this information thinking that you would have done something, but you never really did anything. Because you're still back with the same man that cheated with you. That is my question to you, Daniel. So me hear your question, and I like the question. And I'm saying, yes, it find out that particular point. But no, the next question is, was it really worth it for me to tell you? Because at the end of the day, you weren't going to do anything. You never left. This is when minding your business should be at the forefront of your life. That's where the argument is. This is where the argument is. Daniel is co-signing cheating with her husband, all their rental properties for cheating husbands. Yes, you finally get what I'm saying. Even though Daniel is not a cheater herself, as she said. This is what I was saying, Angela Atkinson. That's what the property model is. If you're going working at it, you must understand that's the machine you're working into. Yes. Is it worth it for her them to work it, put the thing down, flip it and reverse it? It's your permanent. There you go. Why do you think she still wanted Amber to leave her marriage? She never left. That's what me I get to now on the thing with. She never left. That's what we are question. But Amber didn't leave. Not worth it. I'm thinking hindsight. Me I look on the thing now. Me I say, you know what? It never worked. It never worked. O'Neill, stop rushing over the fact that this woman caught her best friend in bed with her best friend, her husband in bed. I'm not rushing over it, Nanya, but look on it, Nanya. She catch her. Okay, fine. You caught, Nanya. You caught your best friend in bed with your husband. And at the end of it all, Nanya, you forgive her. You are taking care of her child. And you're still with your husband. So the question is, Nanya, you just find out. That's all. But really and truly, all right. I'm just saying, Nanya. I'm just saying, look here. I'm not blaming Amber for nothing at all, but I just want y'all to. What I'm doing is, I'm dissecting the topic what I'm giving us. May I dissect the topic? Okay, O'Neill, everything happened for a reason. It all happened the way it did. Play by play. That's correct. That's correct. Bottom line is Amber should have left Anthony. Thank you very much. Bottom line is this, and the thing is, guess what, Tina? She just didn't. That's the point. So we say all these things, them go counseling, them do all sorts of different things. Bottom line, eh? Bottom line, him get off of the hook. Bottom line. Now they know only road for the cheap men while beating down the women when they cheat. This is what I talk about. It's where you know Angela Kinson. You know start attack. What may I say? I may tell you say I'm not rolling for the facts that Anthony cheated. I already was the same one with say in other words, if you're asking me what I think that Amber should have done, Angela Atkinson, if you're asking me, a man, what should Amber have done? She should have left, but she not leave. If you're asking me what I wanted her to do is to leave. But guess what, Angela Atkinson? She didn't leave. So if I was even the boathouse lady, if I was the lake house lady and Anthony's cheating again, would I? There you go. That's a good question. Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. If Michelle, this is the question. If Michelle sees Anthony cheating again, here's the question. Should she tell Amber again? That's your question. That's your question. Should she tell Amber again? Point of the matter is, you got a chance to pull the trigger and you didn't pull the trigger. That is what I'm rolling at. They're still playing in Amber's face. She have to take care of the man baby that him have with the side chick. Yes, let's talk about it. Let us talk about it. Let us talk about it. She still have to take care of the picnic. Let us talk about it. Don't gloss over it. You know, give me every piece. Give O'Neal any piece. O'Neal, Amber never pay attention to Shayla around Anthony, and that's why she get hurt so bad. Exactly. 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 Did she tell her that she could leave too, so she was aware of what was happening? Knowledge is power. It gives you the power to make your own choices. Staying was Amber's choice. Exactly. That is her choice. But yes, but it doesn't absolve the Lake House lady of being cost her job or of not being trusted by her boss because she's now divulging information that she shouldn't have divulged. Friends, I know what you're saying. Trust me. I'm on the points that you guys are saying. I want to know broaden your scope and look into the other parts of things. They must still play on Amber's face. Just like Rico DIY said, they're still playing in Amber's face. That's why I said, was it worth it? That's my question. Was it worth it? Another thing, yes, it was worth it because at least she knows. Yeah, well, she know, but I almost get fired. That's a question. Was it worth it for Michelle? Me almost get fired. I almost lost my job because I'm trying to help you and you did nothing with the information. You did nothing with information. It's like me give some information out. And me almost lose my life because of the information I me give out. This is one of the reasons why policing in Jamaica sometimes don't work. Because when you go to the police is revealing where them get information from. So now what happens is that a bad man say, oh, what? The boy Tommy tell you that I did this. Don't worry, I'm gonna visit Tommy. That's the point I'm raising. But I know what y'all are saying, friends. I'm just highlighting where they are in the entire thing. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. Only if she ever sees anyone cheating, she better not tell. John Green, she better not. Because at this point in time, that's the business she works in. And you can tell Michelle knows that they work in that line of business. I think Michelle was waiting for the right opportunity to expose Anthony. She knows the dirt on any of them that use these properties. She knows. She know the thing. O'Neal, Amber talked too much. Brittany told her about that the cottage. She goes and tells Shayla Amber talks too much, and that is part of the liquor thing. Sure, we can say that. O'Neal, how are they playing in Amber's face if she's a willing participant? All right, if you want to call it that, then fine. But the point of the matter is this: whether I'm tell you or not, you're going to do the same thing. That's what I'm trying to say. This lady divulges information, and at the end of the day, she gets a stern warning, a warning that she could have lost her job. And Amber does what? She goes back to her husband. And like nothing never happened. That is the point I think I don't want to miss. That's the point I don't want y'all to miss. Police don't work here also. I see. Sometimes it don't work. You don't need to tell them. Women like Shayla will always be on their backs. The Shayla lovers see no shame in what this girl is doing. Being a hoax. That's what she's doing. You have girls like that, they're going to be in and out. It's what they do. I bet if Amber leave Anthony, she will feel a lot of weight, lift a lot of weight off her. She would. In case you don't know, O'Neal would like Amber to leave because I feel like them not work anyways, basically. Sure, me just call the topic as they go along. If you want me to go from the storyline, I think she should have left, but she didn't. And so O'Neal is just arguing the point and asking the question now. Was it worth it? O'Neal, if Anthony was a real high value man, he would have made Amber sign a prenup because it sounds like you're trying to clean Amber up from being a trifling running with Wayne. Hey, it is what it is. Amber is saying, Amber said herself now that she's seeing the things she overlooked before, things that were right in her face. Exactly. Friends, okay, if that's the case, I'm not disputing that Amber is a willing participant, but the point of the matter may I raise is what was okay. Okay, all right. What do you think is the reason the Lake Michelle, hold on, told Amber about Anthony? In your mind, what was the reason she tell him? O'Neal, I love Amber, but she talks too much, and sometimes it happens to her. No, I don't care. Because she does, hey, it is what it is some of the times, It is what it is. No cursing in the chat, friends. No cursing in the chat, please. I had an epiphany that all of this has happened to Amber with the Anthony and Shayla involvement is Amber's karma. Wayne has written it to show her that her choice to leave as a mistake. Could be. Could be. No problem, Angela Atkinson. Can't play in someone pays if them a participant. That's fine. It's okay. If you want to say she's a participant, that's fine. Point I make is that it never makes sense Michelle tell her because Michelle just sacrificed her career for her. The fact that the matter is that Amber is always a willing participant because she can't keep her mouth shut. But in this case, this is not her fault. And that's what I'm telling you. It's not her fault. But what I'm going to is Michelle in Michelle's self. I'm asking you about Michelle. The subject today is really Michelle. We're trying to dissect Michelle. Right. Don't think about Amber, guys. The subject is Michelle. That's why I'm asking the question. Was it worth it from Michelle's standpoint? Was it worth it? The country writers are so shallow. I don't think so. Not with the Michelle story, they're not shallow. Because the Michelle story have pieces in it that we have to deal with in real life. Anthony will always cheat on Amber. He's not a husband material. But if she likes it, then hey, I love it. Exactly. He threatened her, and that's why she should have told. Betrayal. Tina said betrayal. Anthony was broke when he got married. So he could not have a prenup because Amber would still get everything she would get. Anthony ran in the strip club and loved low value women, but disguised himself as a high value man who loves high value women. True? Fair. She was hurt herself, so she told Amber because she was hurt. I love that, Charlotte, because I think that's why she told. He doesn't need a prenup now. They can also get a postnup. He doesn't need a prenup. Anthony might end up losing his life if Amber finds out he's cheating again. Well, let's see. That's yet to be seen. Because Amber says a lot of things, but she doesn't follow through on them, to me. Didn't she say it was done to her or something? Exactly. It was done to her, so she felt it would have given the effect. And that was the point I'm raising, Gwen. She thought that Amber would have taken the information and left Anthony. But guess what? She didn't leave Anthony. So then the question is, was it worth it for me to even tell you? And I'm now saying, no. No, it wasn't. I should have just left it go and mind my own business. Because I've now realized that life will have a way of exposing things. Let it expose it to you. At the end of the day, Amber and Wayne is going to get back together and everybody's going to look stupid and laughing. But they're going to come out on top. It's going to come up on top. Once Fiona is tried on her wedding dress, that should have been all of the red flags needed. It should have been. The subject is Michelle. Don't worry, man. The subject is Michelle. I know y'all want to bring Amber into the conversation. Amber is really not the subject. Amber is just a side piece to this. To this conversation we're having, Amber is a side piece. The real topic is Michelle. The topic is, when you work into areas like this, do you release the information you see because of your morals? That's the thing. The question is this. If you work in an area like Michelle, would you report what you see? That is the question the people might ask you. Take the Amber thing out tight. If you put the Amber thing in it, like I said before, I don't really watch a story anymore for fairy tales because I don't get anything from the writers. I watch it for topics. The story is about Michelle. So don't, Michelle will win a hot seat. It's not Amber in the hot seat. Amber is not in the hot seat. Let me just tell you right off the bat. Amber is not in the hot seat. And Michelle in the hot seat. We already talked about Amber before. We're not talking about Amber. We are talking about Michelle. Would you have released the information if you work at somewhere like this and you're seeing these things? Would you? That's the question. I understand why she told Amber she saw herself in Amber. Yes, that's why. I get paid to do a job, not to go to work while to report what the clients are doing. Not my business. Exactly. That the people might try to give y'all. Amber is not in the hot seat, guys. Amber is not leaving Anthony. Amber not leaving Anthony doesn't mean I don't want it. Michelle want to alert Amber of her husband's infidelity. She was not thinking of consequences. Exactly. And the moral of the story, Charmaine, is you must think of the consequences when you do these things. You can get fired and lose your job and can't feed your family because you think you needed to divulge information. You have to know that. In other words, you must be conscious of that fact. So I'm doing the poll. If you work in an area like Michelle, would you report what you saw? Most people have said no. People have said yes. Then you would have been fired. It means you can't work in a scenario like this because you're going to get people in trouble. That's what they're trying to tell you. They're trying to tell you now that your guys are making the point. When you work in a scenario like Michelle is worked in, you're going to get yourself, the company, and others in trouble because you're not supposed to be divulging that information. That's what they're saying. That's what this skit is about. Malachi skits. That's correct. She learned a valuable lesson, Twilia. That's what she said. She learned a valuable lesson. If you watch Daniel, if you look at what Daniel said, she learned a valuable lesson. She learned. She learned a lesson. And just like I said, Shami, and his second chance is yes. I love that fact too. She learned a valuable lesson. Here she's right here, so.
Do you regret it?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
She seems sorry to me. I think maybe we give a little bit of God's grace here.
God's grace.
She made a mistake. She feels bad about it. Now, if she was a man, would it be any different? Is it because she's a woman ratting out on a man?
Absolutely not. This is about the anonymity of our clients using our rental properties.
Okay, well then she's sorry. She's been loyal for a long time, and I think we do a one strike. Here we go. One strike. She's not fired, and we can move forward from this and learn from it.
I know, Janet, I know you want us to live in a world where there's no cheating, and I do too. That's what it is. Why would Michelle have her own skits? I don't think she have her own skits, but this one is about her. Yes, of course, you're realizing what's going on. O'Neill, I think Ben take a lot of work there also. Of course. Possibly. That's why Ben can't afford for Michelle to be doing what she's doing. Ben can't afford for Michelle to be doing that right now. Because Michelle will have to understand that these things happen. You know what I'm saying? O'Neill TV, you know what I'm saying? If it did not happen, which is always an afterthought, even in the forefront, you're right. Hey, listen, we're just doing one of those, what you call it? We're just analyzing what we thought from before. Even O'Neill wrong, even O'Neill said, remember, even O'Neill said, hey, boy, I should have whatever it is. By the way, guys, happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I just want to say to y'all, friends, happy MLK Day. I may not be fully from over here, but I understand the significance of Martin Luther King Jr. I just want to tell you all that. I may not be from this actual country, but I understand the significance of this man to your history, much like I understand the significance of Marcus Garvey, but today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. So I want just to congratulate y'all for those who are celebrating this day. I just want to let y'all know that. Now back to the show. O'Neill, what did the wife have to do with business? Businessman, she makes sure the wife get into the whole thing because it's clear Daniel knows what's going on. Biggest cheaters, Nadira. Some people are cheater. Yeah, no, you're right. I'm Shamin. If you did know, it is. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I was saying. If me did know, probably wouldn't tell you. It's like hindsight, 2020. It's always 2020. Hindsight is always 2020. Always 2020. Yeah, then probably I'm gonna make her sign an NDA. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day, friends. I just want to let y'all know that. I know the history. That's all I'm saying. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Let me see if I can find any more things. They will let her sign an NDA. I think so. I think they're probably gonna let her sign an NDA. They have to. They must. Anthony is probably the only man who has who was stupid enough to take his wife and mistress to the same place. Probably. But I'm certain they have other rental properties. I can tell you that much. I don't think that them just have that one. I don't think it's just that one. What Josette said. I know that there's history here, friends, and of course, Marcus Garvey did his thing. Was she wrong for telling? Yes. She had no right. But everyone makes mistakes and she has to learn a valuable lesson. That's what I'm saying. Even I have to learn the lesson through I have learned the lesson through Michelle. I'm telling y'all that right now. I have learned the lesson through Michelle. Or reminded myself because, well, learn because, hey, to know and not to do is not to know. I think I'm learning the lesson. Exactly. I think that this is the leverage that Daniel has over Ben. This is the leverage. This is the leverage that she have. And Ben take her back because Ben say him like him love her and him see something into her. Yeah. But I love it. We got a chance to discuss it, guys. Happy Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I'm gonna let y'all enjoy the rest of the day. I know I love this conversation so much. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna hop off. As I said before, I had like an hour. I'm gonna hop off and hop into the day. But I love y'all. I love the conversations we have. I want to talk to y'all soon. Look out for more videos. I'm gonna try to see if I can look into the Malachi video. Talk to you soon.